Good morning, everyone. I'm Ron Ford. It is Friday, September 16th, and I am starting it's of the hour of 10 o'clock. I'm starting our Jobs Committee. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Iqbal. Kopi. Lewis.
Lewis here.
Molina.
Molina present.
Wallace.
Here.
Ford.
Present.
Davist. We do not have quorum.
We do.
I apologize. This is my second time doing this.
All right,
Hi.
that's okay. All right, then I get a motion and a second. We'll do these both together for approval of minutes from July 15th and August 12th.
So moved.
Moved by Lewis.
Molina
second-
seconds.
Seconds. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the
I
roll.
think we can do unanimous approval on this, right? So we don't have to do a roll call. We can do a Ken Shepro.
You gotta change your,
My motion.
yeah.
Okay. I motion for unanimous approval of the minutes of July 15th and August 12th. If Melina would second.
I don't think you need a second for that, but I will second.
Yes. Okay,
All
thank
right.
you. Then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. With our Office of Community Reinvestment, our Workforce Division, who do we have online? Is Scott there?
Good morning.
Guys.
Good morning, Mr. Ford. This is Scott.
Good morning.
Good morning. Maria cannot join us this morning, so I just want to call your attention to the financial reports that are included in your packet. That's what we have for you today, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody got any questions? All right. We're gonna
Thank
move
you.
on. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Scott. We're gonna move on then, and then I'm gonna save my comments because I think Chris is gonna talk about our next month also, so I'll let him do that. So we're gonna move on to the Jobs Committee priorities.
Thank you and good morning, Jobs Committee. It's been a really busy month for us in economic development, so I'm just going to talk about 5 or 6 different items that we've covered. If you have a question or a comment, please feel free to stop me. The first thing I wanted to talk about was August 23rd. We held the Workforce Housing Summit in Geneva. That was Mark Van Kerkhoff and I hosted that event, and we had over 100 people register. We had 7 walk-ins. We had people from government, the private sector, including commercial real estate, residential real estate. We also had local government. We had a ton of people from across the board. It was a great event. We did videotape, and Adam Tedder and his team from IT did put together some videos of the event. So next Friday for the 1 month anniversary, I'll be sending out the files and the big packet that I put together, as well as the videos from the panels from the event for people who are interested in watching those. So please keep an eye out from that. We're really proud of that event. We had some really great outcomes and we had some good follow-up. And that'll kind of lead into when I get to the roundtable to talk about some of the partnerships we made for that coming up. Next thing I want to talk about is on Monday, I went to a German American Chamber of Commerce event at M-Hub in the city. They hosted a German agricultural technology envoy to talk about digitalization and innovation. So I've done a bit of work in partnership with the GACC in the past with their manufacturing internship programs. So it was a great event. I got to go out to the city, meet some very nice German agricultural ag tech businesses. We were the only county represented at the forum. And that we also invited 2 local businesses that have been partners of ours and coming to a lot of other events, Bison Gear and Monitor Technologies. They were both there. They were the only companies outside of the city represented. So The other companies were startups and ag tech businesses from the city. So it put us in a unique position to learn a little bit more. I have some follow-up meetings planned with some of the people that I met, and there's some potential for a future trade envoy to come out to Kane County with either from Germany or from another country. I don't want to disclose that yet because we're still talking, but just to come out and learn about what business practices our farmers are using and what technology and how we could swap businesses, swap intelligence, swap plans. They were really interested in that. So that's something I look forward to following up in the future. But again, that was an awesome opportunity that Kane County was the only county in the Chicago region that took advantage of. So I'm really proud of that. Next coming up, if you might have heard this, but we were recently awarded $150,000 through the RISE grant, which is the Research in Illinois to Spur Economic Recovery grant. There were 42 entities in the state awarded it. $3.5 million total. Only 7 of them, including us, were awarded $150K. And this is for strategic planning for economic development recovery from COVID. And the application that Mark and I put forth, we want to focus on mental health and manufacturing and improving those outcomes after COVID. So we're going to be really busy with that in the coming year. So our next step for that is to put out an RFP to start finding a consultant to create this strategic plan. Really, really great opportunity for us. So we're really proud of that. Next thing on the list, you might have heard it from Ron, but October 14th, we are hosting our next Economic Development Roundtable. We're looking to have the Parents Alliance for Employment Project and Autonomy Works, which are 2 organizations that help those with special needs or autism to get gainful and full-time employment. We're really excited to have them come speak at Jobs Committee, but they'll also be guests at our roundtable. We'll be inviting our partners from our local municipalities, and then we'll also spend a good amount of time, like we always do, learning about what's going on at the local level for their projects, plans, and other economic development needs. That's our highlight. That's what drives our guests to our roundtable. We typically have between 25 and 30 guests. Especially to Jobs Committee members, if you're interested in attending, please let me know so we have a spot saved for you. We will be having lunch, which is always my favorite part. And that'll be from 11 to 1 following the roundtable. So if there's anyone you'd like me to specifically invite to this event, just please let me know and I'll make sure to include them on our guest list. We really try to diversify. The municipalities, all usually north, south, and central, are always represented. And then this is a good chance to meet some of the newer local economic development professionals. It's always a great event, so just be aware, and I'll make sure you guys get the invite for that, which is also exciting because October is Manufacturing Month, and this year we'll be talking. Like I said earlier, we'll have our guests talk about they do a lot of employing special needs people in manufacturing. So that's what we're going to have as our Manufacturing Month topic. In the past, we've also highlighted what other people have done. There's tours, there's going to be live videos. There's a lot of things going on. So I'll make sure to share as much as I can while that's going on. But again, it's just really exciting because it lines up with what we're doing for the roundtable. And then this month, I really didn't want to go too much into the economic development data, but the inflation spike it was projected to go down to about 8.1, but it stayed about 8.3. I don't have a lot of comments on that, but all I can say is we're in for a rough ride for the next couple of months because it doesn't look like inflation is going to taper off anytime soon, just given the data that I have. But we've got a lot of great things going on. So with that, I'll leave it to the committee for any questions.
I understand that inflation is not going anywhere. It has a percentage change, a rate change yet?
Yeah, it's gone down. It went down slightly, but it didn't go down at the rate that I think most people were predicting.
Yeah.
We were hoping to see around 8.1 this month. That would have shown the nice start of a decline to kind of get to where we needed to go, but it's just not coming down fast enough.
Anybody else, any other questions?
Well, I'm just gonna make a comment.
Go ahead.
Somebody should, right? First of all, the housing summit was amazing.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it just made me really realize what a huge housing problem we have in our county and not just our county. So, I don't have the answers, but, you know, making sure everybody knows is the first step to it. And there was a really amazing cross-section of people from the community and all different walks in the community. So that was really cool. And look forward to October 14th and put me on that list. And, I just also wanted to real quickly tell you guys that, and I mentioned before, we started we call it Get a Job Wednesday initiative with East Aurora High School. And we've had 2 weeks so far. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is that our kids don't know what they don't know. You know, like the first week we said, we played a little game and it was like, just tell me any job career in this field. And they look at you like, what? And so now we're bringing in experts. So this Wednesday, we had the Kane County Public Health Department, because our job field was public health. And so we had them, and then I had the HR people from Rush. And it was just, we had 26 kids come in and talk to us, which is actually really good. And it was just, you know, enlightening these kids like, oh, you know, healthcare. And they're like, yeah, that's nurses and doctors. No, it's not. You know, I'm like, Rush has 2,500 employees right there in Aurora. You could be one of them and you can get tuition reimbursement. You can get great insurance. You can get all kinds of things doing any number of jobs. So that's what we're just trying to really open up the doors to these kids of opportunities and also tell them, like I told them, you know what? Get into Rush and they do a great tuition reimbursement that if you want to be a nurse, go work there in something else and get, you know, that's the other thing. We have some, you know, economic disadvantage, but work your way through. So it's a really good program. And anytime any of you want to come on a Wednesday, let me know. My next session
You had
is,
26 that showed up. Do you remember what was the method of reaching out to them to let them?
well, so this is a pilot program, so to speak, you know, because I just went and presented and said, hey, we got to start talking to kids more. Because what happened when we went with the No Child Left Behind and we started teaching to standards, we kind of got away from really getting kids into those vocational ones because they had to have their 4 years of English. They had to have this and that. So a lot of them don't have a lot of electives anymore. And so we got to start getting back talking to these kids about, so, you know, in most of these, so they were all juniors and seniors that came through this week of the 26th. And what was the question?
I just wondered how you
Oh,
how
how
did the
did they
message
reach
go
out?
out to them to,
See, this
when
is
you
me.
attracted
This
26,
is me after sitting through environmental. Now I'm on praise. Yeah, so what we
today's
did,
world, getting 26 people to show up for something is that bad.
especially high school students. Yeah, so what we did is we've reached out to all the counselors, so the counselors know. We put together a schedule of what we're gonna, you know, hit every week. And every week I think it's gonna grow because then, you know, one kid tells another kid. And like I said, those 26, you know, and one kid came in and he wanted to be a zoologist. And I'm okay, that's good. Why? I like animals. Okay, that's good. And I'm like, do you have a part-time job now? Yeah. Where is it? McDonald's. And I go, well, if you want to be a zoologist, why don't you apply to Foxway Park District? We have a zoo there. At the other one, we have all kinds of animals. Or better yet, I mean, not better yet, but PetSmart has a tuition reimbursement program. Go work at PetSmart, who is always hiring. See if you really like working with animals and then let them help you pay, you know, so. it's
Around me, there's a veterinary clinic. He's got signs out all the time looking for
Yeah,
technician
So-
and something. I mean,
yeah. So it's
real.
opening up the minds to the kids and also
Yeah.
connecting all our businesses. So like, we're doing this in Aurora, so I'm getting Aurora businesses because our kids don't want to, not that they don't want to leave the community, but you know, it's easier for them. So I'm like, okay, here's the businesses around. And so my next one is actually public service. So I've got a couple of our, well, Barbara Hernandez, who you all know, because she graduated from that school. And then one of our aldermen graduated from there too. And Madam Chair wants to come. And then I'm going to get like people that actually work in, you know, this kind of stuff. And yeah, because the more we talk to these kids and we're giving them the soft skills too of how to talk to adults. And then our big thing in spring is we're gonna do I call it speed dating, but they want to get 100 business people and 100 students. And you have that 5 minutes to go around the circle and talk to everybody.
Like a mini job fair.
Exactly, exactly.
Very
And
It's great.
like I said,
like
it's those soft skills of getting the kids, they'd rather text you than talk to you. Like
Yeah,
you and
that's
I, we'd
true.
be texting and be like, so, and it's really fun for me. I love being around kids. And we also, I was thinking about you. Just now, we have a group called Transitions. And it's our kids that are with us until they're in their 20s because they have the developmental disorders and things. And I'm thinking maybe I can invite the head of that program to our summit next week, and I'll get you that information.
Please do, yes.
But I was thinking, yeah, that might be an opportunity too.
I'm gonna imitate a
So-
teenager. I'm gonna text a message to Ron since I'm sitting next to him.
Yeah. And I can't say I haven't done it, text my daughter upstairs instead of yelling upstairs or getting up and walking over there. So I get it, we all do it, but it's really not a good thing when you're trying to, establish things. So anyway, thank you
I
for
don't
your
worry about, I don't
indulgence.
worry about your ability to talk to somebody in person. That's just efficiency.
Well, that's just because I'm old and that, I don't even know. You know what? Okay, so it's too weird, but when I grew up in Virgil, we were on a party line, okay? And you did not get to use that phone unless you had a really justified amount on why you were going to be on that party line using the phone, So anyway,
Things are a lot, things are a lot different, so.
yes, so
But,
thank you very much.
yeah. Also, with the grant that we're receiving, I know you did a presentation, but somewhere along the line, we're probably going to, once we get the consultant on board, do we have a timeline?
Yes, and it's roughly a year.
Okay,
So it's gonna be in motion pretty quick. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's gonna be in motion pretty quick. We have about a year from a certain date. I'm not 100% sure on that because the timeline moved. We expected to hear back a little bit sooner. This took about 4 months from we applied for it in early May. And then my son was born like the next day. And then we got this grant. So it's been blink, but yeah, we would, once we get everything, of course, once we get everyone, once we put out the RFP and then we move through our steps, we'll definitely bring them back to jobs and,
So
have
maybe on his
presentations.
birthday.
Probably, yeah.
all right. Anything else, questions or comments? And about next week, with the roundtable, how many people do we have right now that you invited?
I'm still putting together the list, but I'll probably invite, for these, I typically invite anywhere between 80 to 90. And then we get about 25 to 30 to show up.
All right, okay.
And that's going to be here, right?
It's gonna be
after-
downstairs,
Right after jobs.
right after Jobs Committee.
You mean next month? You said
Next month,
Yeah, you
right.
said next week.
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
next
it's put a little
month.
Freaked
shock
out
in my
for a
face.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't even be here next week, so that's pretty bad. Yep, next month, which is, the date is
14th.
the 14th. Yeah, October 14th.
I wrote it down.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments? All right, any new business? Well, we just did do business. We have no public comments. There's nobody online. Motion put reports on file.
Davis moves.
Louis
You do that?
seconds.
All right. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. We have no executive session. A motion to adjourn.
Louis.
Louis, that's unanimous, right?
Yes.
Davis second.
All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, same sign. Thank you. See you next month for our Jobs Committee.